Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. It's a bit of a sleepy Monday in this household here. I'm glad you're with us for week 4 of our meditation series. Our first couple weeks of this series, we focused on techniques that brought us inward, right? So we focused on the breath, then we focused on body sensations, and then we did a bit of a counted meditation with the breath. Today, we're going to explore a technique that actually focuses our mind on something outward. And these techniques are really nice for periods of time where, for whatever reason, it is unsettling to focus on the breath or the body. If you struggle with asthma or any sort of breathing condition, sometimes focusing on the breath can actually be triggering instead of focusing or grounding. And I think we all go through times or periods where focusing on kind of being inward, of being inside our bodies, doesn't necessarily feel grounding or feel safe. So these techniques can be nice for these periods of time. So we're going to focus on a hearing meditation today. So that's our plan. We are going to explore a slightly different seat as an option than we have been. So you might grab a block if you have one to sit on. And sorry, Shanti, it's time to get to work. We're going to start with just a little easy movement today. So coming right into table once you're set. If you don't have a yoga mat set out, totally fine. You don't need one. Just find a piece of ground that you're comfortable being on. And let's move the spine a little bit. Inhaling into cow pose, belly down, head and heart lifts. Exhale, spine rounding into your cat shape. And we're going to go back and forth there a couple times. Inhale, cow pose, especially if you've been sitting today. Let the spine move. Exhale, cat. How about 3 more rounds here? And just letting the breath move fully into your body as that belly expands. And let the air move fully out of your body as the belly hollows. 2 more rounds here. We'll take 1 more round into your cow shape. And then as you round into cat this next time, let's place your left hand on top of your right hand. Pull your hips back toward the heels. Take a big full breath into the back of your heart. And then we'll come back into table, right into that cow shape 1 more time. And then rounding into cat, right hand on top of left hand. Pull your hips back towards your heels. And then go ahead and come right back into that table shape. As you find your table, let's take your right leg, stretch it back behind you. We'll place the toes on the floor and just press back through that right heel. Let the back of the knee open, feel a sense of length and activity through the back of the leg. And we're going to keep the leg straight and strong there. Come onto the big toe side of the foot and just push back through that right heel for a moment. Let the outer right hip have a little extra space to breathe. And then we'll roll onto the toes once again. Cross your right leg behind you. Put the toes on the floor. And let's look over your left shoulder toward the foot. And then let the right leg come on back into table. And let's do that same thing on the left side. Left leg stretches back. Toes on the floor. Press back through the heel. And then go ahead and roll onto the big toe side of the foot. Back to the toes. And we'll cross the left leg behind you. Put the toes on the ground and look over your right shoulder. And then come on back to center. Left leg back into table. And we're going to grab that block if you have it. I'm going to invite you today to, instead of taking a cross legged seat, to maybe explore sitting on the heels. So you don't have to have a block for that. You could just sit on the heels, but it makes it a little more comfortable to have a block to sit on. You also could stack a couple blocks, potentially taking your seat up a little higher. Toes are pointing straight back. So for some people, this is going to be a much more comfortable platform for your meditation, much more comfortable seat. For others, you'll prefer that cross-legged seat, and you can take that instead. And then if you would like to lay down today, lay down. So either sitting on the heels or a block, cross-legged or laying down, let's begin to ease ourselves into stillness. Let's place the hands on your body in some way, palm down if that's comforting. Let the eyes close or let the gaze drop toward the floor. And begin to invite yourself to transition into a place of stillness and a place of observation. Observing the moment today through sound. And letting the body exist in space, letting the breath just naturally rise and fall, and let the mind today focus on what you hear. All of the multitude of sounds surrounding you. Acknowledging that sounds and noise constantly come and go in our life. We have very little control over the noise around us. And that even in silence, there might be an absence of noise, but there's still the presence of sound. So begin to open your ears and invite yourself to hear. Letting the sounds just simply come and go, kind of washing over you. You don't need to follow the sounds or chase them. You don't need to identify them or elaborate onto what those sounds are. You also don't need to fix them or judge them. Just purely observing, just purely letting yourself hear. Notice the difference within yourself between kind of actively looking for the sounds and just kind of sitting back and letting them come to you. Perhaps envisioning yourself in a very grand and large space like a cathedral or a theater, and existing in this space with all of the sound. The sound comes, the sound goes, and you're just observing. Notice which sounds enter your awareness that create some sort of a response or an emotion. Notice the ones that maybe irritate you. When you find those moments, right, knowing that you have no control over these sounds, can you invite yourself to relax into them? And because noise happens, sound happens, right? Distractions are always present in life. Can you invite yourself to respond to these distractions with steady clarity, with openness, with space? And when you're ready, just slowly blink the eyes open. Noticing what that created for you today. Taking this practice with you into the remainder of your day and your week, perhaps with a slightly greater awareness of the distractions, slightly greater awareness and clarity of how you respond and how you stay focused as those distractions pop up. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. We have 2 more weeks of this. We'll be back next Monday at 12:15 with session number 5. Have a lovely week, everyone. Namaste.